My beloved child, talk to me for just 2 minutes. I love you and I am always watching over you. Today I come with a final warning, a declaration that your time on this earth is uncertain, your illusions are crumbling, and judgment approaches. Are you ready to face yourself? Are you prepared to meet the truth without turning away? I ask you, my child, are you ready for judgment? I stand before you not to condemn but to awaken. Yet, I will speak with the brutal honesty you need. Do not run from these words, for in every word I utter lives an invitation to freedom. If you dare listen, you might step into the light. If you ignore, you deepen your darkness. No more illusions, no more deceptions. You cannot afford to waste a single moment. I have come to shake you, to rattle the cage you have built around yourself. You have grown so accustomed to your mental prison that you barely notice the bars. But I see them, and I am telling you, awaken or perish. You hear these words and perhaps feel offended. Good. You should be disturbed. You should feel that quake inside your chest that says, am I truly living or am I just existing? I am here to press that question into your heart until you can no longer bear to look away. Because time is short. The illusions that you can go on living as if tomorrow is guaranteed. They are lies. Each day you waste is a day you choose misery. You might think you have many years ahead, but I say unto you, you may not. The judgment could be upon you at any moment. The final breath could slip from your lungs before you have even mustered the courage to see reality as it is. Open your eyes, my child. Look at your life with honesty. When the silence descends upon you at night, do you feel peace? Or do you feel the trembling anxiety of unfulfilled desires? You have 1,000 voices in your head telling you to chase fleeting pleasures. 1,000 distractions, 1,000 cravings, sexual frustration, existential dread, fear of death, longing for acceptance. Each craving leads you deeper into captivity. Do you believe these desires are harmless? I tell you, they will destroy you if you remain unconscious. They are like flames. If left untended, they burn down the entire forest of your being. You chase success. You chase validation. You chase romance. You chase pleasure. Yet, do you realize none of this chasing leads you to last peace? This cycle of chasing is precisely what is keeping you enslaved. If you would only stop for a moment and look within, you would see that your illusions are controlling you. You are not free. The freedom you seek, it is not optional. You cannot avoid the confrontation with your deepest self. If you do not face yourself voluntarily, life's storms will force you to do so. Suffering will grow until you can no longer stand it. Listen, freedom isn't optional. You cannot escape. Write that on your heart. Let those words echo within. Freedom isn't optional. You cannot escape. If you refuse to wake up, life will crush you. These are not empty threats, but the natural laws of existence. Look around. You have witnessed people who seemed to have it all. Wealth, fame, power, only to collapse into despair. You have seen powerful leaders exposed for corruption. You have seen celebrities undone by addiction. You have seen couples who once declared undying love turn to bitterness and divorce. You have seen your own loved ones go to their graves without tasting real fulfillment. Do you think you are immune? How long will you run from fear? How long will you pretend that you can outsmart suffering? Your illusions whisper that you can. Distract yourself, but no matter how far you run, you cannot outrun your own mind. In the end, you will face yourself. The question is, will you face yourself now, or will you wait until the final hour when your life is slipping away? Hear my voice. I implore you, do not wait any longer. Stop making excuses. Stop telling yourself you will meditate later, that you will read spiritual texts tomorrow, that you are too busy, too stressed, too tired. Everyone is busy. Everyone suffers. Life does not give you a free pass. There is no escape without meditation. None. When I say meditation, I do not speak of a fancy posture or a complicated ritual. I speak of being aware in every moment, turning your attention inward, seeing your thoughts and emotions without being captured by them. I speak of quieting the mind so that truth can reveal itself. In the Upanishads, the seers proclaimed, "Know thyself, the self behind the self." Do you even know who you are beyond your name, your job, your relationships, your desires? Or have you wrapped yourself so tightly in external identities that you have forgotten the timeless spark of the divine within you? Jesus said, "The kingdom of God is within you." That kingdom is not found in some distant heaven, but within your deepest essence. As Rumi proclaimed, "You are not a drop in the ocean, you are the ocean in a drop." Yet do you live as the ocean, or are you still playing the role of a helpless drop, cast about by the waves of circumstances? I say it again, if you do not observe, life will crush you. If you do not master your mind will master you. This is not a new teaching. This is an eternal truth repeated by every sage, every prophet, every awakened one throughout history. But you keep ignoring it. Why? Because you think you have time. You think you can wait. You think you are different. Stop deceiving yourself. There is no time. There is only now. If you do not seize now, you lose the only moment that matters. Let me show you the seriousness of this. Imagine a successful businessman, a man with wealth, power, and prestige. He sits in his luxurious home, yet his heart feels empty. He tries to fill the void with more money, more lovers, more accolades. Nothing satisfies him. One day he wakes up and can't even muster the energy to face life. Depression engulfs him. Suddenly, all the illusions of success crumble. His shiny possessions mean nothing. This is not a fairy tale. It is the daily reality for countless people. They believed material triumph would bring them peace. Now they stand on the edge of the abyss, searching for meaning, but finding only darkness. Your life is no different if you don't awaken. You might not have the same external success, or you might have it. It doesn't matter. The point is, without awakening, you are on a collision course with yourself. The illusions must break eventually, and the longer you cling, the more violent the shattering will be. Wake up, my child. This is the final warning. Awaken now or suffer forever. Let that phrase ring in your ears. Awaken now or suffer forever. Repetition is important so you will not forget. Awaken now or suffer forever. I have repeated it for your sake, not mine. I care for you deeply, which is exactly why I cannot stand idle while you drag yourself toward misery. I love you so much that I refuse to allow you to continue sleeping. Listen to me. Close your eyes right now, focus on your breath, and do not allow a single thought to imprison you. Do it. Do not say you will do it later. Do it now as you read these words. Feel the air entering and leaving your nostrils. Feel the subtle sensation of life itself. Become aware of that space within you, which is untouched by external events. Can you sense it? If only for a moment can you sense that silent witness, that pure consciousness. If you truly touch this silence, you will know that freedom is your birthright. You will understand that all the illusions, fears, desires, attachments are temporary phenomena passing across the screen of your awareness. Why cling to them? Once you see that you are the one watching these thoughts, you are no longer enslaved by them. But beware, this revelation is only the beginning. You must practice, practice, practice. Awakening is not a one-time event. It is a living reality that must be nurtured every moment. Ask yourself, am I truly free? Or am I a slave to my habits, my emotions, my unconscious patterns? Who controls your life, you or your conditioning? Let these questions pierce your defenses. There is no hiding place here. I am calling you out. Yes, you. Stop looking around, thinking this message is for someone else. It is for you. Do you dare face yourself? Let me illustrate further. Suppose you have a close friend who is constantly anxious, always worried about the future, about finances, about relationships. You watch them suffer day after day, drowned in what-ifs. One day, tragedy strikes, and they lose their job or a loved one. Their entire world collapses because they have never built an inner foundation. They have lived solely at the surface, never once delving into the deeper currents of consciousness. Now they are left in shambles, desperate, broken. You might become that person if you ignore this message. Life's storms are inevitable. Whether they come in the form of illness, betrayal, or financial ruin, storms will arrive. Will you be rooted in truth, or will you be swept away? I repeat, either experience awakening or fall into darkness. There is no middle ground. Do not imagine you can remain in some comfortable gray area. The illusions are too strong, the momentum of unconsciousness too powerful. Without a radical shift, you will be pulled down. This is not negativity, this is reality. I am telling you the truth as clearly as I can. I still love you, but I cannot let you keep sinking into this mess. You might feel my words are harsh. Let me remind you. I speak with love, not condemnation. True love does not always speak softly. Sometimes, it must shake you awake. My intensity is an act of compassion. If I whispered gently, you might not hear me. Your mind might lull you back to sleep with comforting lies. This is why I must appear fierce. This is why I proclaim so loudly, awaken now or suffer forever. Let these words hammer your spirit until you cannot forget them. Look at your loneliness. Look at that quiet ache inside you, the longing to be understood, to be held, to be loved. Do you really believe another person can fill that void permanently? No amount of romance or companionship can solve the existential riddle in your heart. Until you awaken to your own deeper nature, you will remain lonely, even if surrounded by admirers. Your illusions might give you temporary relief, like a bandage on a deep wound, but the wound remains. Meditation, awareness, self-realization, these are the only remedies that reach the core. You wonder why sexual frustration looms so large in human lives. It is because you have confused desire for love, and you have made desire your god. Desire itself is not evil, but without awareness, desire becomes a chain around your neck. Instead of letting desire transform into creativity and compassion, you let it fester into obsession or guilt. Wake up. Transform sexual energy into higher energy. Turn physical desire into a stepping stone for spiritual growth, not a pitfall of addiction and shame. The awakened approach is to witness desire, neither repressing it nor indulging in it blindly. In that witnessing, the energy can rise, fueling your creativity, your empathy, your divine expression. Can you hear me? Can you understand what I am saying? Or are you still hiding behind your masks? I see behind your mask of confidence. I see the trembling soul that wonders if it is worthy, if it is loved, if it is enough. Stop running. You have tried to hide this trembling for too long. You have tried to pretend you are invincible. The moment you can stand naked before yourself, acknowledging your vulnerabilities, that is the moment you can begin to live. Remember the story of that homeless individual you pass on the street? You see them with pity, or maybe you avoid their gaze. Let me tell you a secret. In their eyes might shine a light of sincerity that many wealthy people never know. In their simplicity, they might be closer to the divine than you realize. True poverty is not about lacking money, but lacking awareness. If you are unconscious, you are as poor as anyone can be, no matter how much you own. This is a reality. Check. Stop your arrogance thinking you are different just because your bank account is larger. In a blink, everything can be taken from you. Then what remains? Awakening or darkness? Now, some of you might ask, but how do we practice this? Meditation in daily life. We have jobs, families, obligations. We cannot sit in a cave all day. Here is your answer. You do not need a cave. You need this moment. Whether you are at the office, at home, in the car, or lying in bed, you can practice awareness. Observe your thoughts, watch your reactions, be conscious of your breath. Let each moment become your teacher. Turn ordinary tasks into meditative practice. When you wash dishes, be fully present with the water, the sponge, the act of cleaning. When you speak to someone, truly listen without your mind wandering. When you feel anger or lust, watch it arise without judgment. without identifying with it. This is daily life meditation. This is how you begin. Do you still think you have tomorrow? Let me remind you, hesitation is spiritual suicide. If you hesitate, you kill the possibility of immediate awakening. Let your heart tremble when you hear these words. Let that tremble transform into decisiveness. Let it become a clarion call to act now. Take a breath. Feel your heartbeat. Acknowledge that you are alive in this very instant, not yesterday, not tomorrow, but now. This instant is the gateway to all possibilities. Miss this instant, and you miss life. We are nearing the climax. You have only one chance to turn things around today. Either you rise to the challenge, or you sink deeper into the swamp of unconsciousness. Let that sink in. Only one chance. Yes, it is dramatic. Yes, it is urgent. That is precisely the point. I want your mind to feel the magnitude of the stakes. This is your life we are talking about, your eternal essence, your ultimate destiny. Pause. Feel the silence. Let this pause be like a heavy weight. Let it be the turning point where you realize there is nowhere else to run. The illusions are cornered. The mind is trembling. Something is about to explode within you, a new birth or perhaps the reinforcement of old walls. The choice is yours. Think of the famous figures who lost everything. They might have had success in the eyes of the world, wealth, beauty, popularity, but ended up overdosing, committing suicide, or living in constant misery. Why did they self-destruct? Because external success without inner foundation is a sinking ship. It is only a matter of time before it goes under. Societal illusions cannot protect you from the truth. If you do not build yourself from within, you will collapse under the weight of your own emptiness. Do you understand how serious this is? Another story. A couple deeply in love. They marry, with grand promises of forever. A few years later, infidelity, resentment, bitterness. The love that once sparked their union becomes poison. What happened? Unconsciousness happened. Instead of transforming their desires into a deeper bond, they allowed illusions of romantic bliss to overshadow the real work of understanding themselves. They expected the other to fill their voids. That is not love. That is dependency. Without awakening, even love becomes contaminated. You think you are different? Stop deceiving yourself. The same dynamic will ensnare you if you remain asleep. Instead, use your relationship as a crucible for growth. Observe your attachments, your expectations, your hidden agendas. Transform them through meditation. Let the friction of relationship become an opportunity for deeper self-knowledge, for turning sexual energy and emotional intensity into compassion and creativity. This is how love flowers in awakened hearts. Can you feel the stirring inside? That stirring is the call of the divine, beckoning you to come home. I am calling you to come home to your true self. In your mind, you might wonder, what does it mean to come home? It means to step beyond the illusions of the ego, beyond the chattering of the mind, into the stillness of your eternal being. Let me share with you a line from Lao Tzu. To the mind that is still, the whole universe surrenders. Indeed, once you find that still center, all the storms of life lose their power over you. But you cannot reach that stillness by half-hearted attempts. You must dive in entirely, surrendering all your excuses. I have said many times, awaken or perish. Let me repeat it one more time. Awaken or perish. Do not dismiss this as mere metaphor. Human existence is fragile. Your illusions of security, your bank account, your social status, your physical strength, these can vanish in an instant. The only true security is in discovering who you really are beneath the layers of fleeting phenomena. You, yes, you, I am talking to you. Do you think you can hide your loneliness and despair behind a smiling face or a perfect Instagram feed? Do you think you can pretend your addictions are harmless? Sooner or later, everything hidden surfaces. That is the nature of truth. It is relentless. Better to face it now than be forced to face it later in a crisis. Let this message be your crisis, a crisis that cracks open your shell so the light can flood in. Let us speak plainly. Either you find the truth yourself, or you remain in darkness. I have told you repeatedly, you have no time. How many times have you heard spiritual teachings and thought, yes, that's nice, only to continue living the same ignorant way? No more. This is the line drawn in the sand. Awaken now or never. Do not beg for one more chance tomorrow. The chance is now. Every moment you delay, you dig deeper into the pit of unconsciousness. My beloved child, do not despair. This is not a message of doom. It is a message of salvation. Salvation does not come by passively believing some doctrine or worshiping some idol. It comes from direct experience of your own divine nature. Do not search outside yourself for me. I am within. You always calling you to see the truth. The real judgment is your own conscience. When you face the mirror of your soul, will you see the light of awareness or the shadow of ignorance? That is the only judgment that matters. Now, I summon you to meditate. Right now, stop reading for a moment. Close your eyes. Go ahead. Yes, now, do it. Take a slow, deep breath. Feel the expansion in your chest. Then exhale, releasing all tension. Inhale again, noticing the cool air pass through your nostrils. Exhale, letting go of every tightness in your body. For these few breaths, do not think about the future or the past. Simply be here. If a thought arises, watch it as a passerby. Do not chase it. Let it drift away. Feel the aliveness within your body. Notice how miraculous it is to be alive, to be conscious, to have the capacity to realize truth. This is the doorway to freedom. If you continue this practice, you will break free from the illusions that enslave you. Don't you dare say you cannot. You can do this anywhere, anytime. You can do it while waiting in line, while walking, while eating, while lying in bed at night. Meditation every moment. Stay alert, stay present, and you will see that the final day of judgment is not some far-off event. Judgment is every moment. Each time you choose awareness over unconsciousness, you stand redeemed. Each time you remain a slave to your illusions, you condemn yourself to another layer of suffering. Take a lesson from the compassionate heart of a child. Children are naturally present. They experience each moment fully without analyzing or judging. In that innocent presence lies a taste of the awakened state. Yet, you have lost that innocence by overloading your mind with opinions, judgments, and attachments. Return to your original innocence. Drop your pretenses. Be like a child in wonder, open and receptive to the miracle of existence. This is not naive. It is wise. The greatest masters embody childlike simplicity, free from the clutter of an overthinking mind. So many of you claim you want love, peace, and happiness. But are you willing to do what it takes to realize them? True love arises when you let go of your self-centered demands. True peace blooms when you stop clinging to drama and illusions. True happiness dawns when you see beyond ego-driven desires to the abiding stillness of your being. You say you want these things, but your actions reveal otherwise. You keep feeding your mind with negativity, gossip, fear. You keep poisoning your relationships with dishonesty. You keep ignoring the call to meditate. Stop deceiving yourself. You must take immediate and radical responsibility for your inner life. This very moment, either you step into awakening or you continue destroying yourself. The choice is yours. I do not interfere with free will. I can only sound the trumpet of truth as loudly as I can. Heed it or ignore it. But know there are consequences to each choice. Choose ignorance and watch your life descend into chaos. Choose awareness and watch the light dawn within you. The time of neutrality is over. You are at a crossroads. Do not turn back to your illusions. They will suffocate you eventually. Let me remind you how God, how I, have spoken throughout history. Sometimes with soft whispers, sometimes with roaring thunder. Why the thunder now? Because so many are lost in illusions that only thunder can break their slumber. So I say once again in the slowest, most deliberate tone I can muster. You. will lose everything if you do not wake up. Contemplate each of those words. Let them strike your heart like lightning. Remember them whenever you find yourself lapsing back into complacency. At the same time, know that behind this thunder is an ocean of love. I am not here to terrify you for the sake of terror. I speak fiercely because I love you fiercely. If I did not love you, I would remain silent, letting you drift aimlessly. But I cherish you too much to do that. I see the glorious potential within you, an infinite well of compassion, creativity, wisdom. You must awaken to it. Stop burying your potential under trivial pursuits. The world is in chaos, and it needs people who have found their inner center, people who can radiate clarity and peace. Will you be one of them, or will you add to the turmoil? Says Rumi. Why do you stay in prison when the door is so wide open? Indeed, the door is open. You only need to step through it by surrendering your illusions. The problem is that illusions can feel comfortable, like a warm blanket in a cold night. But that blanket also suffocates you, preventing you from feeling the fresh breeze of real freedom. Drop the blanket of illusions. Dare to face the chill of truth. In that chill, you will discover a warmth that is not of this world, a warmth of unconditional peace and love that does not depend on circumstances. Taste this warmth. Let yourself be still, even for a moment, and see if you can sense my presence, my love, which is not separate from your own awakened heart. I am here, always with you, not in some distant heaven, but in the core of your being. If you truly meet me within yourself, you will know there is no separation. Then you will laugh at the illusions that once tormented you. You will see how trivial your fears and cravings were in the light of this divine reality. But do not get complacent. Even after glimpses of awakening, the old habits can creep back. You must be vigilant. This is why I say, practice and nurture. A state of awareness, constantly. Let each breath be a reminder of your commitment to truth. Let each passing thought be an opportunity to deepen your witnessing. Let each emotional storm be a test that reveals how anchored you are in the present moment. The path is not complicated, but it requires unwavering dedication. Have you heard the words of Zarathustra? He taught the importance of choosing the path of righteousness, of fighting the darkness within, or the teachings of Buddha, who spoke endlessly of mindfulness and the cessation of suffering. These are not random doctrines. They all point to the same fundamental truth. You hold the key to your own liberation, and it is found in present moment awareness. You can clothe this key in various traditions or philosophies, but the essence remains the same. By now, you might feel your mind swirling with the weight of this message. Good. That swirling indicates something is happening. Let it swirl. Let it disturb you, rattle you, unsettle you. Eventually, the storm will settle, and in the clarity that follows, you will see a new dawn. But do not cling to the swirl, nor run from it. Let it be. Let your own illusions shake themselves apart. We come to the final push of this speech, the culminating call to action. Hear me. This is your last chance. Do not squander it. I know these words are intense, but I mean them. Even if your body lives for many more years, your heart might not remain open. Every time you reject truth, your heart hardens a little more. Eventually, it might become so hardened that even the most profound revelations cannot penetrate. So regard this moment as your last chance with an open heart. Surrender to the truth. Let yourself be transformed. Close your eyes once more. Take one final meditative breath with me. Inhale, exhale, and realize this is not the end. This is the beginning of a new life if you choose to take it. When you open your eyes, see the world with fresh vision, as if you are seeing everything for the first time. Notice the details, the subtlety, the miracle of existence. Remind yourself that every moment is an opportunity to deepen your awareness. Now, stand before your inner mirror Look deeply into your own eyes, the eyes of your soul. Do you see lifelessness, or do you see a spark of recognition? If you see lifelessness, do not despair. Acknowledge it and begin your journey inward. If you see that spark, nurture it with meditation and sincerity. Either way, the responsibility is yours. I have delivered my final warning. Awaken or perish. Awaken or perish. Awaken or perish. But also remember, I love you. I am always with you. My love does not diminish no matter how many times you fall. Yet love alone cannot save you if you will not save yourself. You must walk through the door of awakening. Will you do it? Or will you remain outside clinging to your illusions? The choice is in your hands. My beloved child, I implore you one last time. Take these words to heart. Let them echo in your mind as you go about your day. Do not treat this speech as a mere curiosity. It is a living message, a fierce invitation to meet your own divinity. The hour is late, judgment awaits, and this is the final call. Experience now, or remain trapped. Let your next step be a step into awareness, a step into the radiant truth of who you are. My final words: awaken now, or suffer forever. Choose well, for in choosing, you shape your destiny. Let these words be etched in flame upon your consciousness, so that every time you waver, every time you forget, they roar back to life. Awaken or perish. And in that roar, may you find the courage to step beyond fear, beyond doubt, into the glorious light of your true self. I bless you on this path, but know that the blessing must also come from within your own awakened heart. Take the step. Do it now. Remember, this is your final warning. Amen.